And now we're live for real this time. Welcome to East Got Game, where we give you the X's, the O's, and the insights into NBL1 East. Thanks for joining us tonight live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Remember, you can follow us on those platforms at East Got Game, or you can continue to find our recorded episodes on your preferred streaming platforms. And while you're there, make sure you check out Cut to the Jace, a podcast featuring the Bankstown Bruin himself, Jason Cadee, and It's a Cole World, a podcast by WNBL champion Beck Cole. Both of these podcasts brought to you by basketball.com.au. All right, Lockie, we made it. We have made it through another exciting round of finals in NBL1 East and NBL1 across the conferences. How are you feeling after that game on the weekend?
Up the Sharkies.
Woohoo!
I mean, to win by 20 plus over Maitland, jeez. Sharkies, yeah, they're on a roll. Always tough to bounce on. You're at home, but you bounce back after that loss against the team that got the win the previous week. But yeah, Sutherland boys came out and got it done. So that was our final game at the Shark Tank for the season for NBL1 this year. So great way to finish things off.
Yeah, awesome. Very good. Very good indeed. Certainly making a statement ahead of the preliminary finals this week. What was it like for the final, I guess, game at the Shark Tank as well? Did the crowd get around it? Was it sold out? What was the atmosphere like?
I don't think it was quite sold out. It was a good atmosphere. It wasn't the biggest crowd we've had all year, but it was definitely good. You know, people got around it. Good traveling pack of Maitland fans as well. I don't think they had anything like a bus or anything organised, but fair few Maitland fans came down. You can always tell because that area off to the right of the commentary is always where the away fans sit. So yeah, it was well patronaged by both teams fans.
And just as we started the episode, we received some breaking news direct from NBL1 East. The MVP final two for both men's and women's competition has been decided. So the MVP for the women's competition will be between Shyla Hill from the Bankstown Bruins and Jazz Shelley from North Bears. And no big surprise here. The final two in contention for the men's MVP is Todd Blanchfield from the Illawarra Hawks and Quinn's. I'm going to say it wrong.
Quinn Slazinski.
Yes, thank you. I only say it wrong now because when we watched their game against Illawarra a couple of rounds ago, the commentator for the Illawarra Hawks kept saying it wrong, and so now I've cemented the incorrect pronunciation. But yes, they are the last two in the race for the MVP. Very exciting. Probably no surprises, but it's nice to have confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, we knew who the top five were, and those four players have been going off all season. So yeah, no surprise. I mean, especially like you look at Bankstown with and without Shyla kind of thing. That's, night and day, as we'll probably get into when we talk about the preliminary finals coming up. But yeah. Well done. Congratulations to all four players and really to all the players who got nominated in the first place. But yeah, once again, Todd Blanchfield in the top two. Will it be as close as last year?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how close it will get. What I find really cool as well is that three of the four of these MVP final nominations are local talents, with Slazinski the only import. And obviously Shyla Hill and Jazz Shelley are former teammates in Geelong.
Jeez, yes. Connections all over the shop.
Yeah, so runs deep. And three of the four are also still currently in the finals.
They are, yes. Wow.
So very good. Yeah, so congratulations to all four athletes and their respective clubs. Yeah, super exciting to see how close it gets.
Yeah. Well, it can't be any closer. It can't be closer than last year's men's one.
Yeah, maybe remind our listeners how close it got last year.
There was one vote in it. So when I say it can't be closer than it was last year, I mean, can it? I don't know. Can there be a tie? I guess it could be a tie and a count back. So yeah, I guess it could be technically closer, but geez, if it is.
Yeah, NBL1 North this season, the Women's Defensive Player of the Year was tied between Michaela Can and Erin Bowman. So certainly a possibility.
There we go.
I don't know how you would decide the ultimate winner in having, a defend off.
Defend off.
But yeah, we should get stuck into the episode. Some discussion points before we get into the discussion points tonight. Tell us about those fine looking jerseys you got in the background, Lockie.
I just was rummaging through the old jersey collection and I chucked up a couple of jerseys I like. I've got the Laura Stockton Gonzaga number 11, which it doesn't have a name on the back. So people are like, is that a John Stockton Gonzaga 11? I'm like, no, it's not John, it's Laura. And then the Iowa 22, Caitlin Clark bought that on a trip to Iowa City, which indirectly shout out Beck Dallinger for getting me tickets to see Iowa play Kansas State. So just rummaging through the collection.
Very good. When in Iowa, do as the Hawkeyes do.
100%. And honestly, amazing place. When you get out to Iowa City, great college town.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so some good looking jerseys in the back. We've got lots to talk about in terms of what happened in the semi-finals and obviously preview the preliminary finals ahead of next weekend. But before we get into that, tell me about the grand final tickets. They're on sale, it looks like.
Grand final tickets are on sale and you can buy single game tickets, men's or women's. This year you can buy double header tickets, which I think is amazing. So they're not going to force you to clear out the whole stuff. Well, yeah, they might, but regardless, you can buy a double header ticket and know that you're getting a ticket to both games. So $20 for the single game ticket for adults, $12 for children in concession. Ticket to both, get you into both games, $35 for adults, $20 for child. And concessions. So I reckon that's pretty reasonable considering some clubs are charging, $15, $20 for just to get in the door for a regular season game.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And I wonder as well, maybe this is being overly optimistic for me, given that it's at GYG Stadium in Terrigal, and you and I have been to some GYG sponsored NBL1 events before. Will there be burritos and socks on offer?
I need some. I only got one pair of GYG socks. I need more socks.
And for those who aren't as blessed to have GYG socks, one is black with yellow font and one is yellow with black font, and they're purposely mismatching. So if you're someone who can't handle that, you need two pairs of socks.
Yeah, I love it. Yes, which we got at Nationals. NBL1 Nationals is where we got our socks and burritos. So we're not just making up random GYG.
No, it was the inaugural NBL1 Nationals at State Basketball Centre in Melbourne. Some of us didn't get to commentate the grand final that year because it was different formats, which was totally fine because then it meant the rest of us could hang out with our free burritos, watching great basketball, true bonding moments. Still talk about it to this day.
Anytime you go, whether it's a playing team or a commentary team, the best moments are honestly just sitting around, having a chat, whatever.
Hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
And also, it's worth mentioning that media accreditation is also available. So, I should say applications for media accreditation for the finals is now open. So do complete your expression of interest. Regular season accreditation will not get you in. So you have to apply for separate finals media accreditation. We cannot stress this enough.
Yeah, 100%. And it's going to be, cutthroat. There's only going to be limited spots available. Like we see it every year, there's not really even much room there's obviously a bit of room for photographers, but in terms of other media, there's not really like much room to sit down and put your laptop out or anything like that. So, I mean, we don't see much of that media at games, but even for photographers, there's not going to be a whole lot of space.
No, absolutely not. So don't rest on your laurels and think your regular pass will get you in. Please apply. And also keep in mind that if you're someone who hasn't really actively participated or contributed in the media space for this season, manage your expectations about if you were able to get a pass or not. We don't want people to be disappointed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I've seen it before.
Mm-hmm. Any other whispers around the ground? I think we have to congratulate again Luke Cassidy for his 100 NBL1 games, all with the Crusaders, the loyal Crusader and captain that he is. So congratulations to Luke.
Yeah, big congratulations to Luke. Yeah, 100 games with one club, always. And you fully expect it from someone like Luke, to be honest.
Definitely. And I think he's certainly got 100 more in him.
Oh, definitely. He was grand final MVP when I commentated a grand final. So that's what I remember him mostly for Crew against Hills down at Sutherland.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. I definitely wasn't there for that one. But I know the series you mean.
I think that was COVID year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes. Other news, another player leaving for college. If you watched the Illawarra Sutherland game on the weekend, I probably mentioned it. You might have noticed Bailey MacArthur. He's headed off, so he wasn't there, and he'll obviously not be back for the rest of the finals. So big out for Sutherland. They got it done without him, but he was one of their best against Norths in that loss in the previous week. So we'll see what transpires because he's turned into a big part of the Sutherland men's roster.
And he's going to North Georgia, I think?
Yes, the North Georgia Nighthawks.
The pretty cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be that time of year where we see some of those young talent leaving and to make their college debuts. But I think we should probably get stuck into the semi-final recaps. What do you think, Lockie?
I think we should. And whilst we're on the topic of Luke Cassidy, we'll talk about a game that I dare say made you very happy, Squin. The men's semi-final between the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles and the Central Coast Crusaders.
Huge win. Now, I know that you messaged me. I can't remember if it was this round or last round you messaged me if I was keeping an eye on the score. And sometimes I will purposely distract myself and do something else and kind of watch it later so I don't get too nervous or anxious or whatnot with these results. But what an absolute hell of a game, packed with highlights, this one. It ended up going to the Crusaders on the road, winning 71-73, like pretty much literally going down to the wire.
Oh, coming down to a block shot, a late basket and a late block shot to seal it.
Yeah, in Maturamaker's 3-pointer at the top, and then turn around Garrick Young's block, and then I think it was it Garrick Young or Luke Cassidy to make the winning layup?
It was Garrick Young got the winning layup, and then he blocked Isaiah Lee's 3 right on the buzzer as well.
Yeah, gotta love the desperation.
But I mean, we did say that Crew's big two are dangerous, and Jamal Schwabe and Dylan T, the big two, they certainly show that they're dangerous.
Oh my gosh. See, this is also why I love finals time basketball, because anything can happen. It was also one of those games where people were in foul trouble. Garrick Young had 4. Maker had 4. Aaron Redhead had 4. And then also on Manly, you had Slazinski on 4 fouls. Shimanga on 4 fouls. So it was just it just happens at finals time. It was similar to the semi-final I commentated up here, where all of those things that could possibly add extra pressure and layers to a game will. So things like star players getting in foul trouble if they're having an off game, the shooting end. But equally, it's when the young guns and the bench players step up, like Dylan T, who started, to be fair, played
Yeah.
nearly the whole game. So Coach Miko really put his faith in him and obviously said if he's playing well and he's getting done what we need done, keep him in the game. 25 points, 5 rebounds, 50% overall from the field. Outstanding.
And 9 or 10 at the line, just for good measure. It's funny you talk about foul trouble because I was keeping an eye on the stats for a little bit, and I was just looking at the foul counts. It was about probably at halftime. I was looking at the foul counts, and it said Crew 13 fouls, and I scrolled down. I couldn't add them up. And I scrolled right down. And I saw Redhead had 4 fouls in 9 minutes of play. So he didn't commit another foul for his other 9 minutes on the court.
That's impressive. That's really impressive. That's kind of that extra mile stuffed out of desperation that you just have to find within yourself in finals time. And of course, Jamal Schwabe as well, playing just under 20 minutes, had 15 points, 3 rebounds, shooting at 5 from 9 from the field, which is 56%. And of that 5 of 9, 4 of 6 were from the 3-point line. So he gets his shooting from his dad.
I mean, he had 15 points in 20 minutes of play, but he had 12 points in about 2.5 minutes in the fourth quarter, or 13. He had 4 threes and one was a 4-point play. It was a takeover. It was amazing. Honestly, when Slazinski had that 4-point play with I think it was about 7 minutes to go, put Manly up 14, I was like, that's a big moment, put you up 14. You know, it's just one of those moments where the opposition can be like, oh, we just gave away a 4-point play to Slazinski of all people. I thought this should be the moment that Manly just, pedal to the metal, away you go, lock in a prelim spot. And it just didn't happen. Crew came back. And I think, neither team shot the ball particularly well. I think they were both under 35% from the field. But a game like that still favors Crew. Even if they're missing, if you're missing as well, they're going to get out and run and run and run off misses all day long. And that will be to their advantage down the stretch. Every time.
Yeah, for sure. 13 fast break points helped them go on a 13-point run in the fourth. Speaking of Jamal Schwabe hitting, however, all of the threes in a short period of time in the fourth quarter, the Crusaders shot at 64% overall from the 3-point line in that fourth quarter. So certainly giving them that edge. Like you said, neither team really shooting at their best this game. But Crusaders had a 29-point fourth quarter to run at home, 17-29. They won the last one. But yeah, it was it just makes all those things just make it really exciting. I think Crew also had a bus come down. Manly Warringah had a healthier attendance to this game with 225 people because we noticed even in some of the last round games it was looking a little bit underwhelming in terms of the numbers. But yeah, statistically, Manly won the rebound count, the assist count. Crusaders had 9 to 6 steals, which is pretty good. Blocks were fairly even. It just really came down to those moments in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And sometimes an unexpected player pops up and, it was Dylan T throughout the game. He was steadily scoring. And then Schwabe something just clicked.
Yeah, hold my beer.
Oh, I love it. And then, in the final moments, Maker and Young stepped up. The big name still stepped up right at the last second when it was needed. And Cassidy was there playing conductor the whole time, 7 assists. Didn't have his best shooting night, 2 of 10, but 7 assists, played the full 40 minutes, was out there just conducting the orchestra.
I have to feel a little bit for Slazinski as well because he only played 27 minutes. So obviously the 4 fouls really affected his playing time and his ability to contribute as much as we know that he can. So that put a real damper. But while he was on there, it really looked like he was doing as much as he possibly could.
Yeah.
Making the most of his time that he had. He had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 from the 3-point line. Perhaps not his best shooting day, but when the flow of your own game as an individual is disrupted by foul trouble, that's just what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing his utmost to put the team on his back. You can only credit him for that, even if the ball wasn't going through the hoop.
Yeah, that's right. So Volkovic also had 14 and 6 for Manly. Isaiah Lee had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals. So was always also really giving in his best shot, flirting with a triple-double. But again, just not their best shooting day. To be fair, Volkovic did shoot at 50%, so he was having a great day, including 2 from 4 from the 3-point line. But yeah, overall, just that era finals, I think, having its effect on this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I say, like, Crew were kind of playing with house money because they finished 8th and no one really expected them to do much. But when you watch them, they don't look like they're playing with house money. They just look like they look like they're playing with an expectation that they're going to keep getting through this. They might not have the pressure on them because they finished 8th, but they play with the expectation that they are going to keep going on this run.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just got to keep rolling.
That's right.
And now, should we move on to the other semi-final that you briefly spoke about earlier? Sutherland Sharks defeating the Maitland Mustangs 100-76 in what we described before as a bit of a statement win on the weekend.
It was a bit of a statement win. Sharkies had to bounce back. Obviously, had to bounce back from that loss to North to keep their season alive. But they came out firing. They and they just looked polished from the outset. Hutchison and Spurgeon, or Hutchison Cabrera, or it was a trademark Lachlan Hutchison finals performance. He finished with 13 points, 6 assists. He was 4 of 9 from the field. He scored his points in big moments, had a couple of and ones late on to kind of eliminate any chance of a Maitland comeback. He was dealing really well, just finding teammates. And just, when finals come along, Lachlan Hutchison is just one player you really want in the lineup. And can't say enough good things about the way he played.
Yeah, it looks really good. Good spread of scorers for the Sharkies as well. Cabrera ending up with 20 points, shooting at 80%, 8 from 10 in the 2-point range. So really getting his feet in the paint. Hutchison ended up with 13 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. He's shooting at 4 from 9 for overall and 100% from the charity stripe. Got to say, this Sutherland free throw percentage for this game against Maitland was really impressive. 22 from 25 from the free throw line.
Yeah. And a lot of players, 3 misses and from 3 different players. So a lot of players going 100%. I think we have 4 players shoot multiple free throws and go 100% for them. So, boys getting it done. It's funny. We've often talked about not having our shooting's not always been our best from 3-point land or from the free throw line at times. But we're up over 70% as a team for the season, and we're 6th in the league at 31% for 3-point shooting. So a little bit of change for the Sharks, which, there's been seasons where, like last season when we had, Callum Norris and Angus Lake were our real shooters, but or a couple of seasons ago, sorry, Angus Lake, Callum Norris, those guys, but they weren't always getting big minutes. So even if they were having good shooting nights, it didn't really show out in the team percentage all that much. We got a few guys who can stroke it now, which is very nice to see. And Harrison Rayner shooting 50% from 3-point land for the season, so that's always a help. But Cabrera is just like 8 of 10. He's just so crafty around the basket. He played like he's always got that cheeky smile. The mo helps. The mo helps add to the kind of cheek of the smile, I think. But he's always crafty around the basket. He loves to back cut people, like just things that get under your skin. It's like, Cabrera back cut me again and then beat me on the reverse layup. It's like, yeah, he's really playing with a real joy in his game as well, and he's a better player. And as we said, he brought up 100 games, and I think that leg sleeve he wore must have at least reached 50 by now. But he hasn't had to wear that for most of the season, which is really, I mean, it's really shown in how he's played. Is he just looks more explosive, more athletic, faster, because he's finally got past those calf troubles that have really hindered him over the last year or so.
I've just noticed that we've got one of our first YouTube comments in a long time here on EGG. I'm just going to flash it up quickly on screen. Poor Jacob. Skip this segment. Oh, we're sorry, Jacob.
Oh, sorry,
We've
mate.
got to cover the news, though, our friends. So maybe mute this bit and come back. It won't hurt for long, we promise.
No.
But Jacob, make sure you apply for your media accreditation, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was really interesting statistically as well that the Sutherland Sharks only shot 14 threes for the whole game.
Yeah, but they were doing a good job of like Cabrera getting into the paint. The interesting one was Tyler Robertson only shooting 2 threes. But, this time of year, Maitland, they'd be locked in. Don't let Robbo shoot threes. Even like Harrison Rayner only shot 2 of 3, and he was like up faking a little bit that you don't ordinarily expect. There was one where Jake, my co-commentator, said, I think it was Cabrera. He said, Cabrera got the finish, and he was like, I think Cabrera thought Harrison was going to shoot that. And I just said, I think half the stadium thought Harrison was going to shoot it but he didn't, and he got the pass. So yeah, even Rayner not shooting as many threes, but like Robertson's just he's crafty as well. He'll get in, shoot that mid-ranger that he loves, use the glass really well. So good to see that the Sharks were able to get it done, not shooting as many threes, especially on a night where they shot it pretty well when they did shoot it. They just didn't shoot a lot of them.
Yeah, that's right. I think it just shows it's more of a reflection of what was working for them in this particular game. And I guess their focus, which, you just touched on. Yeah, overall, the Sutherland Sharks were shot at 52.7% for the game, which is really impressive. Even when they were taking threes, they were still shooting at 42.86%. And like I said, multiple scorers. Tyler Robertson ended up with 24 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. He shot at 44.44% overall. What I find really interesting, if we start taking a look at some of the team stats, Sutherland only threw 14 turnovers. Maitland committed 19 turnovers. But if we take a look at the analysis, Sutherland really looked like they capitalized on that, having 21 points from those 19 turnovers. So especially in the second quarter. So that's really efficient.
There were a lot of passes that were telegraphed by the defense in this one. There were a lot of steal. I think Sutherland had of the 19 turnovers, Maitland had 15 with steals. So it wasn't, they weren't throwing it away or, getting called for charges or shot clock violations as much as, yeah. And it was at both ends. There were times where Will Cranston-Lown was just like, thanks, bye. Or, tipping it to a teammate or something like that. Rain Smith had a few, but, Luke Jamison alone had 7 steals for the Sharks.
And 16 rebounds.
There were 16 rebounds I expect from Luke Jamison. The 7 steals, not so much. But yeah, he was, tipping passes away, just, there breaking things up. And yeah, it was really hard for Maitland to get in much of rhythm. Apart from a small part of the third quarter, really, they started to bring it back. It got back to from 21 down to 13, I think the margin was. And then Sutherland kind of got the show back on the road and pulled away once again. It went from 13 out to 26 over the back end of the third into the fourth. But, Rain Smith, tough shooting night, bit like Slazinski. trying everything. Defense did well against him, just couldn't get the shots to drop. Cranston Lowndes, 7 of 20. Still had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. He was 7 of 21 from the field. Just these guys, and 6 turnovers. It's just these guys are trying so hard to get something done and, trying to put the team on their back a bit, but just not working out. What I found interesting, Dan Milburn, 11 points, felt like he had more. Maybe just, when he hit his shots or he was doing other things really well. I thought it just felt like he had more impact than the stat line showed. But one thing, you won't be surprised to hear that it did get chippy between Cranston, Lown and Hutchison in the fourth quarter.
No, I'm not surprised at all. Is it really a Sutherland Sharks Maitland Mustangs game if that doesn't happen at least a little bit?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Interesting for Maitland as well. Miles Cherry has just been on a tear at the end of the regular season and into these finals games, and he only had 8 shots. 8.
Yeah,
too few. Give him the ball.
The Spurge effect.
Yeah.
The Roomba from Toowoomba cleans up all over the floor.
The Roomba from Toowoomba. That has to be one of the best nicknames I've heard in a while. Did you coin that?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. What? Yeah, of course. You need to start trademarking or copywriting these things.
No. These are ones I give these out for free. Just shout me out if you ever use it.
Too generous, too trusting. But yeah, I suppose it is the Spurgeon effect for sure. Just I mean, Miles Cherry still was 6 from 8 from the field.
Yeah.
13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. I would just, like him to get a lot more touches than that. Matt Gray, 10 points in 18 minutes. And I think, I was also going to say Lucas Walker from the Sharks, 10 minutes and 11 seconds, but still had 8 points and 5 rebounds.
Yeah.
Showing some hustle.
First quarter, he had a basket. He got a tip in and then hit a 3. So he had 5 points early and then had I think he had an and one. He had an and one? No, he had another basket and then was fouled another time. But yeah, he was like, Waxy was like early in the season, he wasn't getting minutes. He was like, he was like the Udonis Haslam of the Sharks, just the experienced old head there on the bench almost. But Ryan Abbott got injured a couple of weeks ago and had a couple of games off, and a couple of other players. And they've sort of been doing the minutes by committee, and we're actually getting first quarter minutes now.
Very good. Love to see that.
And also, we have to, of course, mention James Hunter late on getting the basket against his old team.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever been so excited for a 38th-minute basket in a 25-point game as I was for James Hunter getting that one.
Was he just as pumped as well?
I think it was, some friendly banter with the it was in the fourth quarter, so it was in front of the Maitland bench. Just some friendly banter with the boys.
Oh, very good. Very good. But yeah, I think the only other outstanding statistic is the 3-point percentage. Like I mentioned before, Sutherland taking a lot fewer takes or attempts from the 3-point line that I would expect. But they still shot at 42.86 from the arc, whereas Maitland struggled, 25.81 from the arc. They were 8 from 31 overall, including 2 from 10 from Rain Smith. So yeah, certainly not their best, unfortunately.
No, but they had little moments that were good here and there, like I mentioned that bit in the third, but just not able to, continually get out. Foul trouble was a little bit of an issue on occasions, but unfortunately, I mean, someone has to win, someone has to lose.
That's right. And the Stangers gave it their best shot, but the Sharkies are the ones moving on.
They are. Down the F6 next Saturday.
Say again?
Down the F6 to face Illawarra on Saturday.
Yes, that's right. Preliminary finals time of the last pair of games to help decide who's heading to the championship. So Illawarra having the week off, now waiting for their opponents in Sutherland Sharks. And then obviously in the other preliminary final, the Norse Bears had the week off, and they'll now be playing Central Coast Crusaders.
Yes.
Yeah. So should we talk about this preliminary finals matchup in the men's competition between Illawarra and Sutherland first, or do you want to do North Central Coast first?
Let's talk about North Central Coast, I think.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So North and Central Coast have met each other twice in the regular season. Once in round 1, where it was at GYG Stadium in Terrigal. Central Coast losing 74-99. And they also met in round 7 in the Bear Cave, and North also winning that one 107-90. But round 1 for the Crusaders, no maker. Aaron Redhead didn't play. They still had Sharif Saipea, Tommy Akamamoy, no Alex Bailey. North had no Hunter Goodrick or Wani Swakala Bullock. So it was like a pretty different roster. And there were even some people on the Crusaders rosters between these two games that I don't think are on the rosters anymore. And pretty similar for North. North, though, showing that they've had a bit more stability in their roster throughout the season. North just demolished Crusaders in the fourth quarter, winning 8 points to 26.
That is
that's not only just bringing it home in the fourth quarter, that is like taking it home and putting it to bed. Like that's a big fourth quarter. They had 12 points in the paint in the fourth, 1 3-pointer, and I think the rest were, then they had 15 points out of field goals in the fourth quarter, 11 points from the free throw line. Because in this game, Norths were 21 from 30 free throws. 30 free throws.
Just got to 70%, but yeah, 30 free throws. And I mean, Aiden Gunderson fouled out in 13 minutes of play. Garrick Young had 4 fouls. He played 29 minutes, but I'm sure that number would have been 39 if he didn't have foul trouble.
I would have loved to have known how long this game went for in real time.
Was it 20? Well, the Bears only committed 16 fouls, so maybe not as bad, but still 30 free throws. And even on those, even Central Coast shot 19 of their own. So, wow. Yeah, but
that's a long game.
Sharif had 17 points in that game.
Yeah, he did. Unfortunately, no longer with the crew.
Round 1. A lot has changed.
A lot has changed. Yeah, a lot has changed. Brand new teams, essentially. Well, a team almost reborn. But also in that fourth quarter that I mentioned before, that North won 8-26. Crusaders only made 3 of their 17 field goal attempts, 2 twos and a 3 and 1 free throw to make up their 8 points. For me, what also stood out was the turnovers. Crusaders had 17 turnovers to North's only 7.
Yeah, that's tough. Like 7 turnovers. That is such an impressive number, honestly. I think anytime you're under double figures, you should feel pretty good about yourself. But it also just speaks, you're not turning the ball over, and your offense is probably humming pretty well as well, just in general.
Yeah, certainly. I wonder if it was a case of tough first round matchup, still trying to catch up with team chemistry, who's guarding who, pace of things. Maybe that's why things like committing lots of fouls and stuff like that maybe came into it. But each team shot pretty well. I mean, Crusaders shot 38% overall, which isn't too bad. But North shot 47.37 overall. Didn't have their best day from the arc, only shooting 6 from 21 in this particular round, but they still had 4 players in double figures. They had Iggy Mitchell on 17 points, 7 rebounds in just under 25 minutes, which is really good. He shot 50% overall in this game. Boffinger had 15 and 6. Bailey Hansen had 14 points, and Krislovich had 18 and 5 and then 18 and 10 rebounds and 5 assists. So pretty expected though from Norse, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. And the thing that stands out to me is Bailey Hansen dropping 14. He's now coming off the bench and providing impact. So North, obviously North have only gotten better with Goodrick and Swaka-Labulik, but Crew have gotten better as well since this game in terms of personnel and just as a team. Because if we look at the second fixture, there's even more outs for Crew.
Yes, there is. There's no Maker, no Young, no Saipea.
Sharif played.
Oh no, Sharif was there. My bad.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. So things like there was a couple of new players here in the roster. By the time Crusaders and North Bears played again in round 7, still no Garrick Young. Oh, I shouldn't say still no Maker and no Garrick Young this time. But only going down by,
Well, it was tied at the end of 3 quarters.
Yeah. And then
7-90, and it was a 17-point, 30-13 in the fourth quarter. I don't think we're going to see Crew get beat by 17 in the fourth quarter. Not judging on what I've seen of their fourth quarters the late part of the season.
Yeah. And this is the time of this round 7, we see Hayden Gunderson really starting to cook. So he had 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 10 from 15 from the field at 66.67%. So absolute hell of a game, including 4 from 8 from the 3-point line. Jamal Schwabe as well, lighting it up. He had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 5 from 9 from the 3-point line, and 7 from 15 overall. So and Redhead played this game. So he was back in the lineup and he had 19 and 8. So really starting letting the others really cook, in Garrick Young's absence and still waiting for Maker to appear.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the big out for Crew now is Tommy Akamamoy, who had 6 assists in this game, and before he went down what he did against Sutherland was amazing, just being there in person for that. As I mentioned, fourth quarters, overtimes, Crew.
They love it. They'll keep running.
Yeah, they'll keep running.
And I think for this round 7 game, again, like you mentioned, it was a 30-13 fourth quarter. North had 60 of their 107 points in the paint, 41 points from the bench. So, which I thought was really interesting for this game. So let's have a look and see who was the bench for North this game. So Boffinger. Wani Swaka coming off the bench, playing just under 24 minutes. He had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. So that certainly helps. Then you had Robbie Moore coming off the bench. He had 13 points. Holy chipping in with 5. Benjamin Gill chipping in with 6. So yeah, I think that obviously all quickly adds up when your bench players are still chipping in even just those little bits.
Robbie Moore.
Boffinger
I just like him.
Yeah.
I just like him.
Just like him. And Boffinger had 27, 8, and 4 in this game. Do you think Boffinger is going to be another defensive assignment for Hayden Gunderson in this preliminary final?
Oh, possibly. Whoever does it has to keep him to lower shooting numbers than 11 of 13 from 2-point range. I know that for sure and certain. I'm just thinking, so Bears would go, so of that starting lineup, you sub in Swani Swaka-Labulik for Bailey Hansen. So I'm just running through the Crew lineup with Young and Maker in the lineup.
Because also in this round 7 matchup between the two, Goodrick didn't play either.
That is also a point to contend with.
So Maker will, North last time having 60 of their 107 points in the paint, but at least now with Maker, that's obviously going to provide a lot more rim protection. It's a bit of a mismatch though when he's coming up against someone like Goodrick, given that he does width.
Yeah, width.
Yeah. Not so much in the size and the width, that kind of size where Goodrick might have an advantage of being able to get around Maker a little bit more. So Maker just has to make sure that he plays as big and wide as possible to make that as difficult as possible. I mean, Garrick Young, though, showing his defensive chops the last couple of games, but I don't think he's going to be match up against a Goodrick. I mean, redhead on Goodrick, maybe the same kind of disadvantage as having Maker, not matching Goodrick for width, breadth,
bulk.
Yeah. But yeah, I think. So you think Gunderson maybe on Boffinger?
It's they're tough to match up against North, but they could throw Gunderson on him. I mean, if you think Maker's patrolling the paint, maybe Young on someone like Iggy Mitchell, Cassidy and Waiter will be a battle.
Oh, it's going to be a good one.
It's starting to fall into place that might be how it transpires.
And then who's going to guard Wani Swakala Bullock?
This is why North finished as high on the table as they did, because no matter who you put on who, you're always asking, well, who's guarding the other guy?
And then Krislovich. So it's there's some big defensive assignments coming up for some of these crew boys. But I mean, they're absolutely riding the wave right now. And I'm sure that Coach Miko has got something up his sleeve, even if it's some kind of like matchup zone or something, just to throw them off a little bit. Yeah, a matchup zone just to kind of throw them off, slow them down a little bit, maybe pack in the paint to add that extra kind of protection and put a bit of doubt in the minds if it goes inside to Krislovich and Goodrick, and making it hard for the likes of Mitchell, Boffinger, LeBullock to penetrate, maybe something like that to really pack in the paint.
I mean, I am. My brain is swimming with ideas, and I'm just very interested to see what Coach Miko throws out there. Defending this North team is one of the most interesting puzzles we get. They have 7 starting level, probably 8 starting level players in the rotation. Come prepared. Come with plans E, F, and G.
Yeah, that's right. And keep them off the foul line.
Yes.
Because even in this round 7 game, North were at the foul line 24 times compared to Crusaders, who only got there 15 times. Crusaders, 40% from the 3-point range this game in round 7, and North 9 from 25, so 36. So not too bad, but obviously not their best. I think North will still have to play pretty disciplined this game. I don't think they can't take this game for granted. No room for complacency, because everything is going the Crusaders' way right now. And as we say, anything can happen in finals time.
And the Crew fans are going to be, they will sell out their allocation 100%. I mean, they sold it out to against Manly. They'll do the same against North. And look, the allure of a home grand final is certainly something to get up for. Especially when last time their men played in a home grand final.
That's right. It was the touch of God winning us championship.
All
right. So that is going to be a cracker. I think it's gonna, if Crusaders can stop a fourth quarter run again from North, it will get into single digits.
Yeah.
I can't see this being a 15+ point win again.
No. As long as Crew bring it, gonna be real fun. I mean, North are yet to play a Crew team with Young and Maker both in the lineup. I know that
Yeah.
conversely, Crew are yet to play a North team with Goodrick in the lineup, but
Yeah.
the depth that North have compared to what Young and Maker bring to Crew, the offset is, night and day.
Yeah. Very exciting. All right. So, should we crack on to the next preliminary final matchup, which is Illawarra and Sutherland? So
Yes,
they've
we
also,
should.
yes, we should. They've also played each other twice in the regular season, once in round 4 and then once again in round 14. Illawarra winning in round 4, 84-77. And Sutherland Sharks winning in round 14, 92-88. So 1-1 for the season. This is the decider, Lockie.
It is massive. And again, we're talking about games where the teams have played each other and one team hasn't been at full strength. Because Tyler Robertson had not arrived for Sutherland in time for the Anzac Day game. And Mason Peatling did not play in round 14. So, they've been 2 very close games. And both times one team has been missing a major piece.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it wasn't really as accurate or as measurable as it could possibly be. In this round 4 game that was at the Snake Pit, 770 people in attendance, mind you, according to the box score.
Get out.
Get out there. Love that. They should start an NBL1 East award for best crowd as well, I think. Best fan base or something.
Every team should put their crowd numbers in the stats every game. That'd be a nice start.
But both teams yeah, what are you hiding? What are you ashamed of here? Both teams shooting pretty not their best from the 3-point line in this round 4 game. Illawarra were 12 from 44. 44 free throws is 3-pointers is a lot. Between Mims and Blanchfield, they had 22 of the 44 3-point attempts. So Illawarra were 12 from 44, 27.27 from the arc. Sutherland Sharks were 5 from 31 from the arc, 16.13%. With Hutchinson and Abbott having 7 attempts apiece. So yeah, not the best. This game definitely wasn't won and lost from the arc.
No, obviously Robertson not being there is obviously a thing in terms of the Sharks 3-point percentage, but also Harrison Rayner, he's 50% from the 3-point line for the season now. He played 19 minutes in this game. He was 1 of 3 from 3-point land. But early in the season, he actually played a game in Waratah Men. Look at where he is now. He played a game in Waratah Men at the start of this season.
What, do you know why that was?
Because I don't know if he wasn't going to get minutes in NBL1, but yeah, he played a game in Waratah Men earlier in the year. And
there you go.
So, and this was also Luke Jamison at the start of the season. If you look at his shooting numbers for the year, I would dare say they're not great. We just take a look. I do have them up.
Yeah, he was 1 from 7 this game from the field.
Yeah, he's 39.8% from the field now. He was in the shooting slump to end all shooting slumps to start this season. So this 1 of 7, but in this game, that was almost to be expected at that time. Right now, you expect the entire opposite.
Yeah, and it's really interesting how many teams we are seeing in the preliminary finals are just peaking at the right time. Like Sutherland were a little bit wobbly at the start of the season, maybe underperforming, but everything has started to click since then, whether they have Robbo on a great game or not. They're still able to carry on and find a way to be competitive and still consistently score. So, and then Crusaders are similar, where they've just been bubbling away, improving on their chemistry as the season have gone on to peak at the right time as well. And then both of those teams are now matching up against 2 teams who have been consistently outstanding all season.
and I think that's one of the best parts of finals basketball is peaking at the right time enough. Does it put you over the top of these really consistent teams? It's it's very interesting, and we keep giving reasons why we love finals, and this is why we love finals. Just these two teams in different situations, one that started at the top and has stayed there, and one that's built slowly all the way through.
Yeah, definitely. And in this particular game, Illawarra had 4 players in double digits. They had Kone on 12 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Matt Mims on 20 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Blanchfield had a double-double with 20 points and 14 rebounds, 3 steals. And Peatling had 17 points, 11 rebounds. Peatling shooting at 61.54%. Blanchfield, not his best day, 31.25. And then for Sutherland, though, given it was still only a 7-point game, only had 2 people in double digits. Cabrera on 19 and 3, and Spurgeon on 15, 8, and 4, which I thought was interesting. So a lot more, like just what we were saying before, that contribution off the bench. Or from the role players of just doing a little bit or just doing as much as you can in the time you're given certainly makes a difference. Like Lucas Walker started this game. He only played 16 minutes, but he still had 7 points and 4 rebounds and 2 steals in those 16 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the Sharks had, 6 more players after that score 5 or more. So just, I mean, there are players, like I know Lachlan Hutchison will have walked away from that game thinking he could have scored a lot more points, shooting 3 of 14. Ryan Abbott, 3 of 12. But yeah, you see, Rayner was 2 of 5 for 6 points. Hunter was 3 of 5 for 6 points. MacArthur had 3 points. Yeah, and as I said, Luke Jamison, he's not going 1 of 7. The way he's been playing lately, 1 of 7 is quite clearly in the rear vision mirror.
Yeah, and this game, Sutherland, 50 of their 77 points came inside the paint too. So, that certainly kept them in touch, given that they were shooting poorly from the 3-point line.
Yes.
But then roll around back to round 14 at the Shark Tank. Different story. Sharkies getting up 92-88. This one was really close all game. Sharkies finishing the fourth quarter 27-22. This would have been a hell of a ride to commentate.
Yeah, James and I reviewed this game for the pod for a few episodes ago. So you want to find out more about, this matchup, you can go back and listen to one of our old episodes. But
best way to do it.
I mean, just look, Luke Jamison, 7 of 11 from 2-point range on his way to 24 points. Spurgeon was doing everything for 25. Harrison Rayner, 3 of 4 from 3-point range, 3 of 4 from 2-point range. It's gotten to the point where the Sharks now can interchange Cabrera or Rayner in the starting lineup. They've got it worked out. They've got it down pat. Keep harking back to it when Rayner first earned starter minutes. Took him a few games to kind of work out, how does this work? Where does he fit in as a starter? But now that it's working, they can, they change it up regardless of who, what the matchup is. Just do we put Cabrera in? Do we put Rayner in? We'll do what works. Big games across the way. 4 players with 16 or more points, and I mean Hutchison again, not having a great, but. More important to remember that Matt Mims was an all-defensive player in his college conference. So, he's tough to play against. The Hutchison-Mims battle, a bit like the Hutchison-Cranston-Lown battle. 2 guys that, will both get at it against each other all game.
Does Mims get a bit chippy, though? Is he one to have a chat?
Not really. I just mean more in the actual, in the play,
Okay.
Yeah. We'll defend each other with gusto.
Good. Yeah, good. No, I like that. Keeping it super competitive. I can definitely see that from these guys. But on this occasion as well, where Sharkies got up, this time they had 4 people in double figures. Robbo having 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Harrison Rayner, 16 and 5 and 3. Spurgeon, 25, 12 and 3, and 2 steals and 3 blocks. So really doing everything. He shot at 64.29% overall, including 3 from 4 from the 3-point line. So he can stretch.
He
can stretch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jamison, 24 and 9. Like you said, finding his form.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's one of those days, this time Rayner stepped up and had big points. Cabrera didn't, Different player steps up and gets the team over the line.
For Illawarra this game, big 3 having big numbers. Kone, 19.7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, which is, again, a bit of everything. We love to see that. Matt Mims, 27 points. Blanchfield, 28 and 13. Like you said, no Peatling this game. So it'd be great to see Spurgeon and Peatling match up against each other. Very similar skill sets, but I think Spurgeon might have the bit of a length advantage over Peatling, if I'm right.
Yeah, he 100% does. Yeah, he does have a good few inches on him, I think. I think Mason Peatling he uses what size he has well, but I think he's only 6'8" or 6 foot. No, he's listed at 6'7", or 6'8", depending on the source. I would lean closer to 6'8", and he definitely plays bigger than that as well.
Yeah, so really good test for the bench that game as well, I guess, in preparation for this moment.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look at this game, like the last score, it was 4 players went off for Sutherland, only 3 put up big numbers for Illawarra. What happens if Peatling's there? Do they have a 4th player who puts up good numbers and gets them over the line? We can decide that on Saturday.
Yes. Illawarra winning. Sorry, Sutherland won this rebound count as well for this game, 50-38, and the assist count 18-13. So I think winning the rebound count is going to be really important for this matchup in particular. I could probably say the same for North Crusaders, actually, just being able to limit your opponent to as fewer shots as possible. And from the free throw line, nothing really too outstanding on that respect, or from the foul count. Sutherland only committed 13 fouls this game, which was impressive.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. At this point, all the games blur into one. As good as they are, the details get a bit blurry. But yeah, it was. I think we did note that they let them play a bit, but it was good. It was good fun basketball to watch.
Yeah, and Illawarra this game were really a lot more consistent from the 3-point line in this round 14 game. 4 threes made in the first and second quarter, 5 threes in the third quarter, and 2 in the fourth quarter. It's dropping off a little bit, but much better than their performance in round 4. Sutherland had 6 from 11 points in the paint in the fourth, and 2 from 3-pointers in the fourth too. So they were firing.
Yeah. But it was so back. It was such a good game to watch. It's like you've got to tune into this game. They put up 2 classics already. It's just going to be fun. Very fun. Even though I'll probably actually be at the Sutherland Waratah men semi-final while it's going on.
So the preliminary finals this round, similar to our semi-finals up here in North that we had on the weekend, they were staggered. We had one at 5, 6, 7, and 8. So for NBL1 East prelims this weekend, almost a stagger. We've got the women's game at 5 and 6, but both men's game at 7. Which is a bit of a bummer.
2 monitors by this stage. What are you even doing?
Yeah, it's going to say at least a phone and a monitor.
It's a something. Your TV and your laptop, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes to get those 2 screens going.
Games, surely the North crew game, the North doubleheader is KO game of the week. I'm not sure. But I would have thought,
I'm not sure.
I would have thought being both games at North, that would have been on KO. But either way, one of those men's games is going to be on KO. So you watch on your smart TV on KO Freebies, and then stream the other one on your laptop. Sorted.
Done. All right. Well, that is the men's competition wrapped up. So ready to go. Both games at 7:00 this weekend. Are we ready to get stuck into a recap of the women's semi-final?
We certainly are.
Very good. First cab off the rank is the Centre of Excellence defeating Albury Wodonga Bandits at home 77-69. So close, the Bandits, to getting to that next phase of finals. This one was, this was a struggle, it looked like, for Albury, because they lost the first quarter 29-8. They had to really do a Miley Cyrus and face the climb.
That's a reference. Well, we actually while we were doing sound check and things, chucked this game on. So we watched most of the second half, actually, Jake and I, in between talking about Sutherland and Maitland. But I mean, Albury Wodonga, they put themselves in a hole early. So they only lost by 8, but they brought it back to lead at one point. But I mean, they put themselves in such a hole early, 29-8. I think Unique Thompson was 1 of 9 from the field to start the game, as I was keeping an eye on the stats while I was doing setup. But it just puts you in such a hole. I mean, Emily, watching it, Emily Lytle, shots were dropping early, but you could tell something was going to happen. Just the way she was getting to spots, getting shots up. They weren't hitting in the first stage, just obviously judging by the score. But you could tell something. I don't think I expected 40 from her, but I could tell she was ready to make something happen as the game went on.
Yeah, 40 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 from 11 from the free throw line, 14 from 24 overall. Like, that's like, if you like you said, if Lytle kind of started a little bit rusty, she certainly found her form.
Yeah, I mean, she was getting in there. And I mean, she was 13 of 19 from 2-point range. She was in amongst a low scoring game where, I mean, turnovers 18 apiece, shooting percentages not too crash hot. Her team lost, but boy, oh boy, was she fun to watch.
Yeah, and Thompson had 16.6 rebounds on not her best shooting night either, 7 from 25. Only getting to the free throw line twice. So she was 2 from 4, which I always find really surprising, given that she attracts so many defenders and so much contact, that she's only getting to the free throw line twice.
Yeah, in the bits and pieces I saw, and feel free to correct me on parts that I didn't see, it looked like Maniok was tasked with just get a hand up, make her shoot over you. Don't properly engage too much. Use your height and length advantage that you've got, and just make it difficult for her.
Just puts the doubt in someone's mind sometimes, that extra length.
Because I mean, she had 6 blocks, did Maniok.
Yeah, 6 of 8 blocks. COE had 8 blocks as a team, and she had 6. Oh my god.
Yeah, there were a couple I saw. Yeah, but there were times where she was forcing Unique into shooting some tough fadeaways just to get over her. So, I've watched. We've been watching Maniok in this league for a couple of years, and she started off. She was a real project player. They saw something in her, but she had a lot of height, a lot of length, but a lot to work on. And she's coming into her own, just getting more and more experience. And now she's got 6 blocks in a semi-final game, and only committed 2 fouls in 31 minutes of action, just playing really disciplined ball. Because I think if you think back to last year's grand final, she got cooked by Zoe Miller repeatedly. Zoe Miller would beat the first line, and just Jemima would just be late to react or commit a foul, and Zoe would just cook her. So great to see from the youngster.
Yeah, she's probably got a lot of confidence coming back from the U17 World Cup as well. She played some pretty important minutes in that tournament. Same with Jasmine Jones as well. She's playing a lot more minutes for COE. I noticed that Myra Donkin has been coaching the last few games for COE instead of Mel Downer. So
yeah,
not too sure, mate.
I think Mel's been overseas doing some conference or course or what it is escapes me, but I've definitely seen something.
Cool. COE Aspen Crace, Reese Davidson commit. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 5 from 6 overall from the field. Aleknowitz, 14, 2 and 6. Isabel Smith, 14 and 4. And Jemima, 7.7 rebounds, 6 blocks. Oh, how cool would it have been if she had a triple-double with blocks? When's the last time a female did that in NBL1?
In blocks?
In blocks.
If
ever.
I honestly have no idea. Like Hassan Whiteside. Ain't nobody doing it with blocks.
Nobody is doing it with blocks.
No.
And for Aubrey Wodonga, we mentioned, Lytle and Unique Thompson. But shout out to Mika Coleman, 10 assists. 10 of her team's 17 assists.
Yeah. She is one that has really taken off this year as well for Aubrey Wodonga. Yeah. 10 assists in a semi-final. I mean, yeah. Great young player. I'm a big fan of Tamika. Shock horror. Lockie is fan of country women's basketball player.
Yeah. Aubrey were 15 from 23, though, from the free throw line, 65.22%. So some of those missed free throws, perhaps biting them on the bum a little bit. Field goal percentage-wise, COE shot 41.67 overall. Aubrey Wodonga 35.26. 2 from 19 from the from the 3-point line for Aubrey, only 10.53%. So not the best from the 3-point line, but equally, COE was 7 from 33 at 21.21%. So yeah, bit of a struggle from the arc there.
Yeah, I did make a few notes just about the shooting percentage. Like Aubrey Wodonga, you can't shoot 26 of 73 and 2 of 19 and expect to win. I think they had 9 extra possessions, and you're not going to win. And Lytle was 13 of 19 from 2-point range, and the rest of the team was 11 of 35. And what I found interesting for COE is they had 4 players with 10 or more field goal attempts. Shanahan was 4 of 13, but the other 3, Aleknovich, Jones, and Smith, were all 40% from the field. So the players that were getting the ball in their hands a lot and taking the shots were making them. And I'm pretty sure Isabel Smith had 8 of her points in the final quarter.
Oh, wow. Yeah, 14. So 46 of COE's 77 points came from inside the paint. We mentioned that they won the first quarter 29-8, but the Bandits came out of that locker room at halftime, winning the third quarter 10-22. So certainly on the comeback, very determined to get the win. They had 40 of their 69 points in the paint.
They rattled COE in that third quarter. There was a good couple of minutes where COE were just thinking, we got to get a basket, put a shot up, someone put a shot up. And fortunately for COE, they snapped it. I think they snapped out of it at about the point where Aubrey Wodonga took the lead. The moment I noticed, if I find the exact, I don't close my notes. The moment, about 6 minutes to go, I'm pretty sure it was Aleknovich. It was back and forth, but Aleknovich got a tip away from Lytle out near midcourt and managed to get up court and give it to Maniok. And Maniok finished really well off the glass. They went from that to Maniok getting a block to Aleknovich hitting a 3 all in a minute. And I feel like that was the one where COE was just like, all right, we're back in rhythm now. We're good.
Made a massive difference.
It really did. It was just a little minute of play that, they are, yeah. And then obviously Isabel Smith in the latter stages getting that late flurry of points.
So COE going through, unfortunately, the Bandits season has come to a valiant end. with a loss on the road. But yeah, they certainly fought all the way to the very end of this season, the Bandits, to find themselves in this position of the semi-finals. So lots to be proud about.
Yeah, the only thing I will notice is Unique got 2 tech. Got her 5th foul was a tech. I saw she got 1. The first one, look, it didn't look. It was just after a play. Unique just bumped Maniok in like a little bit of a scrum of players. It didn't look like too much to me. And then the second one was off camera, so really no idea what the second one either was. Game was gone by then. It really doesn't matter. It was they missed the free throw, so it finished 77-69. Unfortunate way for season to come to an end, but as always, I'm sure the Bandits will be back and amongst the finals contenders in 2027.
Definitely. The recruiting and the rebuild already starts, next week kind of thing for some coaches.
Certainly does.
Okay, semi-final number 2 was between Manly Warringah Sea Eagles at home against the Newcastle Falcons. This one was on a nice edge for me. I couldn't really tell how this one was going to go, but it was the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles winning 90 points to 78. Huge fourth quarter from both teams, 26-29. But Manly winning the first quarter by 4, the second quarter by 3, and the third quarter by 8. So even though Newcastle tried to make a late run in the fourth, it just wasn't enough. Manly's roster looking really thin, but still managing to get 4 people in double figures. Jada Jansen having 25 and 6, Zoe Miller having 22, 2 and 9, Alex Delaney having 15 and 9, and Bree Delaney with 14 and 2. Really thin here, Lockie. It's at the crunch time of the season.
Yeah, so obviously no Josie Redan. Freya Bykirk left long ago. Josie Redan injured, if you haven't been all over the news over the last couple of weeks. Liv Johnston's left for college. Neve Smith would have left for college by now, I'm pretty sure as well. I imagine Cassidy Thompson was with Youth League, possibly. She might have been the only other one they would have added. They're thin, but they're working with who they've got, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not missing. I mean, obviously Redan's injured, but we know from everything she's posting, her season's done.
Yeah, which is a real shame. But yeah, like her sisters are still carrying on without her and succeeding. Newcastle, Sophie Brennan had 16 and 3. Munga had 24 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 6 from 17 overall from the field. So not her best shooting day either. Getting to the free throw line though, and she was 9 from 10. Meg Jefferson had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, showing her newfound versatility. 7 from 4 from the field. Probably could have done with a few more touches. For me personally, I would have liked to have seen Meg with a few more touches and scoring opportunities there. And Mia Heidi, 22 points and 16 rebounds, 7 from 11 from the field, 8 from 10 from the free throw line. So yeah, she had a hell of a game as well. Manly just getting it done on the day. Manly only had 32 rebounds for the game, which I thought was maybe a little bit on the lower side, but Newcastle had 43, so it was just probably just the theme of the game, I guess. 14 steals to Manly. They shot at 46.03% overall, including 42.86 from the arc, so heaps better shooting on this occasion for Manly. We've seen a couple of games in the season where Manly have really dropped off in their three-point shooting, which is uncharacteristic for them. And Newcastle, 5 from 18 from the free-point line, 27.78%.
Yeah, Meg Jefferson had, I think she had 3 fouls pretty quickly. I don't know if it was in the first quarter, but it was definitely early, which contributed to her playing
Mm,
21 minutes. But can we just
mhm,
talk about the foul count in general?
mhm.
48 fouls committed in this game. 23
Oh,
to 24. The replay for this game with, they cut out the halftime, they cut out the quarter breaks, and they cut out most of the timeouts. It still goes for an hour and 20 minutes, the game replay. So that's at least you take it.
wait,
So you
what?
add four,
It's still got an hour and 20 minutes with that many fouls.
but that's taking out half time, which is 10 minutes, and the 2 quarter breaks. So that's at least an hour 35 plus any timeouts they cut out, because they often cut out the timeouts from the game replay as well. So we're talking an hour 40 for this game to finish.
It's another long one. I don't know what it is about that court. I feel like a lot of games I've watched in NBL1 East over the years where there's been an extraordinary number of fouls happens at Manly. And you can't even say it's Manly refs because, no one referees their home association.
No, the Manly ref is also the commentator.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, there's another referee up in the stands. But yeah, this only 120 people though in attendance for this game, which is a bit disappointing given that the men's game had so many more. Maybe that was because there were lots of Crew fans.
Yeah, that might be it. So I don't know how much the stadium even holds. If you think 120, I think they had to give Crew 100 fans. Maybe it was close to capacity.
Maybe.
It looked pretty, for the Manly Crew game. It looked pretty close. Remember, they don't have stands behind the benches like some clubs do.
Yeah. And I saw some footage from people who were randomly there on social media. It looked like they were really far back. So it looked like they were as packed as possible.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, if the Crew fans all bought up tickets and it was billed as a men's women's doubleheader, then you can probably explain why the difference in the two games is about the number of tickets the Crew fans bought. Because the Northern Beaches, according to the NBL1 website, the capacity of the Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre is 3,500 people.
Oh, well, that's...
Why aren't we hosting the grand final there then?
Yeah.
And NBL1 Nationals. And NBL games. It's like when Mo claims to the Red Hot Chili Peppers that his bar can hold 40,000 people.
Yeah. Maybe a topic of conversation for another podcast episode.
Yeah. Maybe edit that number slightly on the website.
Yeah. As another stat that stood out to me that seemed pretty important for the game was number of turnovers. So Manly did a good job only committing 10 turnovers, forcing Newcastle to commit 19 turnovers. But then Manly turning those turnovers into 21 points.
To 0 as well.
To 0. Yeah, to 0, which I think it was
work.
Yeah. I think there was a highlight as well of Zoe Miller making a steal and laying it in under pressure at the other end. I think that must have been part of a primary focus for Manly of just getting stops and running. And it obviously worked in their favour with those 21-0 points from turnovers.
Yeah, 100%. Another thing I know, and I think noticed, and I think it's kind of a theme when Manly defeat Newcastle, is Munga scores a lot, but she does it on not her best shooting night. I feel like every time we talk about Manly we talked about the regular season matchup, we talked about this prelim final last year. It feels like every time we talk about Manly Newcastle, if Manly win, Munga gets a lot of points, but it's not at a great clip.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's something about, maybe it's something around how, Manly have so many great defenders as individuals. And I think we've talked about this in a previous season as well, how they're just able to keep switching different people on her just to make it a little bit more disruptive. You know, when Annie Henderson was still playing, it was like between Annie Henderson and Josie Redan. And I mean, even either Delaney's sister could guard Mungo as well. So I wonder if that also comes into it, just being able to switch different people just to be more disruptive.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I didn't see. Oh, it was points from bench as well for me. So I think we spoke about as well in a recent episode about the question marks around Newcastle's depth compared to previous seasons. And Manly had 17 points from their bench to Newcastle's 5, which I thought was interesting. But anything else stand out for you in this game?
Yeah, the fact that Newcastle didn't hit a 3 across the middle two. They went 0 of 8 from 3-point land across the middle 2 quarters. 0 of 2, then 0 of 6. Manly, not great from 3-point land in the second quarter, 1 of 8, but then splashed for fun in the second half. 7 of 12. 4 of 7, then 3 of 5 from 3-point land. So very interesting that Newcastle couldn't find a 3 across 20 minutes of basketball and then go 4 of 5 from 3-point land in the fourth quarter, which are something I found very interesting. Also, it felt like Meg Jefferson was minus 11 in her time on court. It felt like she did more out there than the team being minus 11. But I guess when you're in and out of the game with foul trouble, it can feel like you're doing a lot when someone's doing a lot when they're out there. But just interesting. But honestly, Manly just too clinical on the day. Kind of fitting that Newcastle's final basket of the season was a Mungo 3. What else would you expect? But yeah, again, Newcastle season comes to an end at Warriewood, 2nd year in a row.
Yeah, starting to become a thing.
It is. Albury Wodonga. Like different venue, but same team. 2 years
Same
in a row.
team.
And same round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's a bit haunting, isn't it?
But that's what happens when you've got a lot of consistent teams. They're going to meet each other in a lot of finals games.
Yeah, of course. Which means now the preliminary finals is North Bears, who had the week off, against Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. So the rivalry there continues between those two clubs. And then Bankstown Bruins will be hosting the Centre of Excellence. I mean, it's too early to say. Are we going to see the most epic rematch of the NBL1 East women's season in North Bankstown meet again at the grand final?
I mean, all signs point to yes, don't they? I mean, we'll get into the 2 games, but, you know, on form, you'd have to say it's the most likely outcome.
So, interestingly, with these 2 matchups, you know, in the men's matchups, each team have met each other twice in the regular season. Whereas for these women's matchups, they've only met each other once in the regular season. North and Manly played only in round 14, so very fresh. COE and Bankstown played each other in round 1.
Yeah, and which game do we want to talk about first?
Let's do COE Bankstown first.
Okay, good, because I want to get straight into that one. Because what can you take from that game where Bankstown had no Margot de Freitas or Shyla Heal? Because if it ends up being this grand final matchup, we're going to talk about it then as well, because they lost to the North by 50 without those 2. They lost to Centre of Excellence by 26. Well, now they've got Shyla Heal, who's at least top 2 in MVP, and they've got an absolute weapon in the pick and roll for her to work with, alongside Dale Tupaia and Davis White in the starting 5. It is a different team, and I mean, obviously it is. We've noticed that throughout the season, but what can you even say about this first round matchup that you can even like consider? And in that game, Zara Russell had 21 points, and she's not there either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Like, it's essentially like I think it's essentially like they're going to be playing for the first time again.
Yeah, 100%.
In that occasion, COE limited Talia Tupaya to just 10 field goal attempts. And she was 4 from 10 from the field. She had 14 points. Kiana Davis-White had 17 points and 8 rebounds for the Bruins, and the rest was essentially, scattered throughout the rest of the roster in terms of scoring. COE on this game had 60 of their 89 points in the paint and 34 points from the bench. So they're probably going to have a similar roster in that sense of depth, but like you said, missing Zara Russell and Bankstown adding Heel and DeFreitas. So yeah, I don't think we can really say. We can only estimate how it's going to go. Also, Bankstown have that great defense up their sleeve that we saw against when they beat Manly all those rounds ago. That looked like a pack defense. I'm going to say, and I think if that's what it is, and given it was so effective against a team like Manly who love to penetrate and dish, it will be equally as effective against COE because COE, like I said, just love to get 2 feet in the paint.
Yeah, 100%. This, like, if you look at this starting lineup, they had both Shalom Dunlop and Jane Dunlop in the lineup. So they're not even playing with like the same mixture of guards and bigs, and because the Dunlops are both really backcourt players, and you're adding in DeFreitas. So you're changing tack entirely. It's not just who's there; it's what roles they play. But I mean, you have to say Bankstown are favourites. Look, COE had a great ride to get this far and to knock off Albury Wodonga and that great start to the game, and then hold on at the end. But I do feel like I know they beat North last year in the preliminary final when everyone wrote them off, but I just can't see them getting past this Bankstown team. Bankstown were within 2 points of ruining North's undefeated record.
Yeah, correct. And COE from the 3-point line this season. Let me just check their percentage. Yeah, they're 31.3% from the 3-point line, which isn't terrible, but it's not the greatest, given that this is a young team that would shoot however many 3-pointers a day.
Yeah.
So they certainly like to get downhill, certainly like to get in the paint. Yeah, I think that whatever that defense is, I don't want to put a name on it in case it's wrong, or I don't want to give too much away for Coach Curtin. That is certainly going to be very challenging for COE to play against. So they're going to have to find some form from the arc. It will be really great if Aleknowitz is matched up, the U17 Defensive Player of the Year in the world, matched up against a Shyla Heel, so her next defensive challenge.
Yeah.
Maniok against DeFreitas. But I think this game as well, like now that Heel and DeFreitas are there, taking a little bit of extra attention away from Tupaya, I think Tupaya can now have another one of those games that we saw a couple rounds ago where she can just go back to old school Tupaya, have some kind of like different matchup on her, and just keep outsmarting these kids with the way she uses her body to draw fouls and gets under defenders and things like that. I'm hoping that this is going to be on show again this game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, are we really so old that there can be old school Talia Tupaya? Oh, God.
Yes. And because she's been playing at a professional level since she was, 15?
Yes. Funny story, she won an award in, I think, her second season at the Flames, maybe even her third. And they give you the trophy and they give you the bottle of wine in the bag. So you
Yeah.
can't actually see what's. She pulls it out. It's a bottle of Coke because she wasn't old enough to drink. Dear me.
I think that's very cute.
It's the matchups at the 3 and 4 spot. I think are going to be the most interesting ones. Talia and Kiana Davis-White against. Well, the starting lineup for CO in the last game was Smith, Aleknovich, Shanahan, Crace, and Maniok. So, it'll probably be, a 2v2 battle, Tupaia and Davis-White versus maybe Shanahan and Crace. Who guards who in that situation.
Or do you go Isabel Smith on heel and Aleknowitz on Tupaia?
Put your best defender on the toughest physical matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, that might actually be the best idea. Count on your best defender to be able to, don't just go straight up maybe a slightly bigger player because we know Aleknovich can handle just about anything.
Yeah. She's tough. She's so tough. So hopefully that will be the matchup.
That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah. And that's going to be at the Bears' lair, Bruins' lair. Am I right?
Yes, it will. Yes, that's the. I think that's the 6 o'clock tip off at the Bruins' lair. They also have a youth league semi-final, but that's at 11 a.m. So
it's a bit of a gap in between.
Yeah, but hopefully it means I can go without having to buy a ticket for the NBL1 game, which I don't think I'd be able to do if I went to Illawarra for Youth League NBL1 doubleheader because that game's at 4:30. But we move on. I've got Waratah men to watch.
But still plenty to watch across all of the leagues.
There is.
But let's move along to the other preliminary final preview between North Bears and Manly Warringah Seagulls. Again, the rivalry continues. They recently played each other in the regular season in round 14, North's winning 77-66. Big free throw difference, I think, in this game. North's having, when it loads again,
it was 19 of 23 to 9 of 11.
Yeah, massive difference there. Massive difference. Both great shooting percentages just in terms of opportunity from the line. Jazz Shelley played all 40 minutes. She had 27 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 9 from 19 overall. Talia Brugler having 18, 8 and 4. Caitlin Martin with 14 and 3, also playing the full 40. Emma Donnelly just under 17 minutes, having 10 and 5. But no Rebecca Donnelly this game. She was a DNP. I can't quite remember why.
Well, that's a quite salient point you make, Squin, because I believe Rebecca Donnelly might have left the college by now. So you might not.
That's a bummer. Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer from the bench for them. Yeah, because she's been really good off the bench for North all season. And for Manly on this particular game, Jansen had 11 and 2, Delaney 11 and 6, Mowbray 11 and 5, Delaney 12 and 2.
What's Sari's rebound count?
Oh, sorry, 11 and 15. Goodness me, God, I'm 10 short of your rebound count, Sari. I do apologize. 11 and 15 for this game from Mowbray. And Delaney was 12 and 2. So Miller not having her best shooting game, unfortunately, just 2 from 11 from the field. 35.71 overall from the field for Manly, 37.14 for North. And then, 25 and 27% for North and Manly, respectively, from 3-point line. So not, given that it was pretty high scoring in like 2 of the 4 quarters, the last quarter was 17-5, North to Manly. It wasn't the best shooting day for these teams. It was okay.
it was elite defenses. The thing that sticks out for me is if Norths won that final quarter 17-5, that means Manly were leading with 10 minutes to play.
Yeah, right. So, ooh. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think in the fourth quarter, so Manly were only 1 from 18 in the fourth quarter from the field.
And that was
They
1-3.
Yeah, they had 1 3 and 2 free throws for their 5 points. Whereas North, they had 3 from 8 from the 3-point line and 2 from 8 from 2-point range and 7 free throws. So, 1-3 in the fourth quarter really hurts.
Yeah. What I find, I mean, might get to that in a minute. I mean, I imagine Zoe Miller would have copped the toughest defensive assignment in the backcourt for most of the night. She's going to have Isabel Morgan and Caitlin Martin, one of them, on her for pretty much the entire game. But that's something you got to battle through. What I find interesting is we've already talked about Manly Warringah. They are going to have a short rotation just because they don't have any players left. They got 7 or 8. They can. Maya Jelena was a DMP, so they ran with 7. They could have, if Cassidy Thompson's there, they'll have 9, but both players who don't get a lot of minutes. Norths don't run deep by choice at the moment. They don't use Dalmaida. They don't use Yvette Volk. They don't use Lauren Walker. Not very much anyway. And even in this last game, Emma Donnelly and Holly Wills only combined for 22 minutes of play, and Holly only played 6 minutes. And I think even if we look back to their, might be a bit skewed, their qualifying final game because they were up by so many late on. But even then, even in a 40-point game, Dalmaida, Volk, and Walker didn't touch the court. So, and Rebecca Donnelly only played 3 minutes. So, interesting to see, a team that has its rotations very cut and dry versus a team that's been forced to shorten its rotations. I think we've been absolutely robbed of a Talia Brugler versus Josie Redan matchup. I think that would have been very fun to watch. They've got Dickinson comes into the starting lineup and Lily Fandre's playing, serviceable bench minutes for them. So, I mean, we know how good both of these teams are. I feel this is one where Manly really needed Josie Redan.
Yeah, I think so. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game has potential to be really high scoring. It also has potential to be on the lower end like their last game as well. It could go either extreme for me, where we're going to see 2 of the best defensive teams against each other, just limiting each other like it's going to be a soccer match. But both teams can just pop off as well from anywhere, especially from the 3-point line, despite the best defense in the league. So it could really go either way. I just hope that the officiating and the number of fouls called isn't going to have a strong impact on this game. Yeah,
these are 2 teams full of players who are used to playing physically. WNBL, high D1 college players. Like, you think Talia Brugler played in the same conference as Izzy Morgan, like played in the A10, really good basketball with really physical players that, they produce professional players. Even Peggy Shell hasn't played in the WNBL. It hasn't reached that next level, but she will take her licks and give them out just as well. These players, they're happy to play through physicality. And
it's almost like they like it.
Yeah, I dare say most of them do.
Yeah.
They want to win the battle and win the war. So, just let the kids play.
Just let them play. I don't know, I know a lot of the referees, but I don't know them well enough to know their style. But the one referee I want on this game is Michelle Cozier.
Why? Because she like playing with physicality just as much.
Well, she has the most playing experience of any of the referees. Like, she was a legit WNBL player. Wasn't she a 200 gamer?
Oh, I certainly think so. If she wasn't, she'd have to have gone close.
Well, I don't know if she made 200 games. She would have been close, but I think she was made a WNBL Life member nonetheless for her other contributions to the game. Even though she didn't make 200 games. But she has the lived experience of playing in this style and playing with physicality. She has I think, the more measured approach to let this game flow and what to call and what not to call. So if I can have any influence on this, it would be that.
Yeah, I'm sure they will pick. Yeah, I mean, we know you only need 12 refs, so we're going to get good ones. Just hopefully the ones we get are suited to the style of games we're going to get.
So I feel like when North played Bankstown, and even when Manly played Bankstown, but particularly when North played Bankstown, Caitlin Martin, Izzy Morgan were in foul trouble really early. That they set the standard for the game, for that game, so early of what they were going to call, and they were calling them really quickly, and it just was so destabilizing. I just don't want that to happen to this game.
Squin, referees matter.
Oh gosh, no, I have to go back and do my level 0 course again if that's going to happen. But yeah, either way, we're going to be spoilt for choice. I won't be commentating NBL1 North finals because they're in Townsville and they can only send one person, which is, look, I personally don't mind. I've got another huge social weekend planned. Plus, now I have time.
What's a social weekend?
It's the weekends that you can experience outside of NBL1 season. It's quite a treat. But yeah, now I've got time to watch some of these absolute crackers. So we have North and Manly women at 5, Bankstown COE women at 6. Then we've got Illawarra Hawks, Sharks men, and obviously North Bears men and Central Coast Crusaders at 7. Where you're going to need your dual screens.
Definitely will. NBL1 East, get around it.
Get around it. But yeah, otherwise, this is it until we see which 2 teams will book their ticket to the finals day on Sunday, the 16th of August at GYG Stadium in Terrigal.
Burritos for all.
Well, let's hope so. But have you got any final thoughts, feelings, news before we wrap up tonight, Lockie?
Final thoughts, feelings, news. News? No, not really. Feelings? I'm psyched. And thoughts? Don't sleep on the East.